Agent 47 is the protagonist of the enormously popular Hitman video game franchise. He is a master assassin with a 100% mission success rate, making him the most deadly contract killer in the Hitman universe. But Agent 47 is no ordinary man. No, he is a Hitman, and a GMO one at that. He is a genetically modified clone who was created by using the DNA of 5 criminal masterminds, known as the Five Fathers, and he was raised from birth to be the world's most perfect killing machine. But if he existed in the real world, and lacked the physical and mental prowess given to him via genetic modification, how would he have to train to achieve peak physical Hitman performance? To answer that question, we'll be looking at how the real-life version of Agent 47 trains. And at the end of the video, I'll be creating a full Hitman athletic training program that you can follow yourself to build a muscular and functionally fit body just like the one that Agent 47 has. To figure out how Agent 47 would train in real life, we need to look at how he fights and performs in the field so we can better understand the physical demands of being the world's greatest hitman. Agent 47 is an expert spy who is well adept at blending into his surroundings and hiding in plain sight. Typically, his goal for a given hit is to silently get in, take out his target, and leave the scene of the crime without his presence ever being noticed. While sometimes missions go off without a hitch, sometimes soldiers, security, or civilians will get in Agent 47's way and they'll need to be taken care of. Luckily, Agent 47 is a master marksman who is highly adept at using all kinds of firearms, but his favorites are his nickel M1911A1 handguns, nicknamed Silver Ballers. But Agent 47 isn't limited to using firearms for his ranged attacks. He is no one-trick assassin. If the situation calls for a completely silent ranged takedown, that's no problem, because Agent 47 has the arm of a deadly MLB Major League pitcher with a thirst for blood, and he can use a wide array of throwable weapons like ninja stars and throwing knives, plus anything he finds in his environment like an axe, hammer, or even a fish, to take down anyone who stands in his way.
And I didn't invite you.
Well, I guess they had a seafood allergy. But sometimes, hitting a man in the head with a fish just isn't enough, and you need to get in close to finish the job. But fortunately for Agent 47, he's probably the most deadly at close range. Because as a highly trained ICA assassin, Agent 47 is a skilled martial artist who has masterfully interwoven all kinds of fighting techniques into his unique hand-to-hand combat style. For silent takedowns, he knows Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and standing judo. If he needs to engage in a straight-up brawl, he knows boxing and taekwondo. Oh, you pulled a gun at close range? Have a taste of Krav Maga. And of course, we can't forget about the most deadly martial art there is, kickboxing. Specifically when used to kickbox someone off of the top of the 2,720-foot Burj Khalifa. Now that's a kick that sure does pack a punch. If you guys are liking the real life training series and want me to cover Baki the Grappler next, leave a like, subscribe, and comment Baki down below. And I want to thank my 3 new channel members for supporting the channel and making what I do possible. Michael Davidson, Ivan Hayes, Zach Wallinga, you guys rock. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But the physical demands of a hitman extend far past combat. He also needs to be able to drag and carry heavy bodies around. He needs to be able to climb and parkour around buildings without being seen. He needs to be able to sprint at high speeds away from the scene of the crime after being caught on master difficulty for the 47th goddamn time. God! Okay, it's fine. It's fine. And of course, we can't forget about the crucial hitman physical skills of modeling, mixology, massage therapy, normal therapy, yoga, and of course, DDR. Okay, that's a lot of skills for one hitman to be able to juggle. Is it actually possible for someone to do all that? Do we have any real-life examples of someone who is raised for the single purpose of becoming a stealthy killing machine? Well, yes. Yes, we do. And it's all thanks to the motherland. Enter the KGB. The KGB was the main security agency for the Soviet Union from 1954 to 1991. And while on the surface, it merely posed as an intelligence agency that was tasked with maintaining national security. Under the surface, it operated as the Soviet Union's own espionage branch that would carry out assassinations, both locally and abroad, on anyone who stood in the way of the Soviets' domination of Europe and the world. Much like Agent 47, the average KGB assassin started their physical and mental training long before they knew they would end up becoming a killing machine. It started when they were only children. While they weren't taught to kill at such a young age, they were put through rigorous physical training in obligatory school programs sponsored by the Ministry of Defense called the GTO. Although civilian in nature, this program was aimed at creating and maintaining a high standard of physical fitness for Soviet people. But the final objective of the program was to prepare the boys for conscript service with the Defense Forces, Internal Forces, and KGB. Those who grew up to join the KGB were in peak physical and mental shape. KGB agents were taught to move quietly and silently without being seen. They were incredibly proficient with all types of weapons and martial arts. They had to be able to walk and even swim long distances with heavy operational loads of equipment on their backs. And they could climb and navigate rough terrain with ease. Like I said, these guys were pretty much just the real life Agent 47 type hitmen. So we can analyze their training to inform us on how Agent 47 would have to train in real life to do what he does in the games. The KGB's physical training was simple, brutal, and highly effective. It started with an extremely high amount of cardiovascular conditioning that came in the form of walking, running, skiing, and forced weighted marches. And they did all of these while loaded down with heavy equipment. Besides this, they would frequently engage in sparring matches with other KGB members. This served as a great way for them to sharpen their grappling and striking skills, while also improving their conditioning at the same time. And finally, they had their hard morning training sessions, which consisted of a series of 20-minute runs, alternating with 10 minutes of push-ups, pull-ups, jump squats, and a variety of weightlifting movements. And all this physical training was to be done outside, regardless of the weather conditions or the time of year. And the Soviet Union was never really known to be the warmest place. And while I couldn't find anything directly supporting this theory, I believe a large portion of the weightlifting done by the KGB was done with kettlebells. As in 1948, kettlebell lifting became the national sport of the Soviet Union. It's a fun little fact. Okay, so now we know that it's actually possible for someone like Agent 47 to exist in real life. So now let's put together his training plan, and stick around until the end of the video, where I give you a full Agent 47 training plan that you can follow yourself. And disclaimer, just make sure you use it for good and not evil. While Agent 47's training plan will work on every aspect of his fitness, there are three main aspects of his performance that in my opinion need to be focused on. But first, we all know Agent 47's most impressive power is his ability to find the perfect outfit for any mission. And thanks to my partners over at SuperX, you can find yours. They make the world's most comfortable, functional, and stylish superhero-inspired workout gear. They've got sick designs based off all your favorite heroes and villains. And with thousands of 5-star reviews from customers all over the globe, you know it's good stuff. They've always got sick new designs coming out, but you need to act fast because they make everything in very limited runs. So if you see something you like, don't wait because it could sell out at any moment. To check them out, use the link in the description of this video. Now back to the program. His first aspect of performance that his program would need to focus on is his explosive power and his speed. As a hitman, Agent 47 needs to be able to carry out all of his movements with speed and precision. Whether he's sprinting from cover to cover, throwing a skull-shattering punch, or throwing a fish at deadly speeds, he needs to be able to do it fast and with power. And the perfect movements for developing this power are going to be very high intensity sprints, both on foot and with a sled, explosive weighted movements like kettlebell swings, and plyometric rotation exercises like lateral med ball throws or landmine rotations. The second area of focus would need to be his brute strength, and more specifically, his grip and posterior chain strength. Agent 47 not only needs to be strong enough to effortlessly drag around the bodies of full-grown adults, but he also needs to be able to overpower said adults to turn them into bodies that he can then drag around. And this is the reason that his grip and posterior chain strength is so important. By the way, your posterior chain is just all the muscles that make up the backside of your body that are used for pulling. The reason why they're so important is because anytime he's grabbing and choking out one of his targets using his signature garrote wire, he needs to make sure that when he grabs them, he does it with so much force that they can't even make a sound, let alone escape. And this type of strength would come from his forearms, lats, biceps, and upper back. To train these muscle groups properly, Agent 47's training plan would need to include lots of pull-ups, heavy deadlifts, rope sled pulls, and heavy bent over rows. And finally, parts of his program would need to focus on creating a high level of cardiovascular conditioning. Agent 47 needs to be able to go straight from sprinting, climbing, or dragging into accurately aiming his gun or his fish. So his conditioning needs to be good enough that he can do that without huffing and puffing when he gets to aiming his gun, because that would throw off his aim. Also, as anyone who's ever tried grappling or sparring will know, fighting is one of the most cardiovascularly intensive things you can do, especially if you do it right after performing your attempt at the world record for the fastest ever outfit change. To reach that level of conditioning, Agent 47 would need to do two things. First, he would need to take a page from the KGB training manual and perform the KGB style of circuit training, where you alternate between weightlifting and running, as this would be the perfect way for him to train his body to be able to perform different dynamic movements while under extreme fatigue. In terms of what his training split would look like, he would do a 5-day-a-week push-pull full-body program. His push and pull days would be a mix of heavy weightlifting, athletic training, and some cardiovascular work. And then the full body day would be a functional circuit training day. Now, if you want to see what the full program would look like in detail and you want to follow it for yourself, I've gone ahead and created a full free workout PDF that you can download via the link in the description of this video. And if you like this video, you have to go check out my video on how Kratos from God of War would train if he was a guy in real life. I'll see you there.